Las Vegas.
Two families will never be the same after a car crash took a man's life today in Summerlin. The 78-year-old victim was taken to the hospital but didn't survive. And now Metro Police say they're worried about the 17-year-old driver who did survive. Metro says this crash, just like many of the ones they respond to, didn't need to happen. The intersection of Lake Mead and Sun City Boulevard was shut down for hours Wednesday.
If we can get folks to abide by the speed limit, slow down, this would be much less likely to occur.
Crashes like this have unfortunately become routine for Metro Sergeant Paul McCullough.
You know, not to say that these get easier the more you do these. I mean, what's unfortunate is you go to so many of these, you can drive through and remember vividly events that happened 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
It's not something he wants to remember. On Wednesday, Sergeant McCullough was called to Summerlin. McCullough says a 78-year-old man was driving this sedan when a 4Runner driven by a 17-year-old turned left in front of him. The two cars collided.
We don't know if the sedan ran a red light. We don't know if the SUV ran the red light at this point. It's too early in investigations.
The 78-year-old man was taken to UMC but later died. The 17-year-old driver of the 4Runner had minor injuries.
You talk about the grief that she's going to have to live with the remainder of her life, knowing that she's involved in something that took someone's life.
While it may be early in the investigation, Sergeant McCullough says just looking at the damage left behind paints a picture of what happened.
Yeah, when you look at the amount of damage here behind me, it's not consistent with a 35-mile-an-hour zone collision.
This is the damage he's talking about. A bumper, part of a door, a light, and other pieces of debris strewn across the road.
And when you get into these 4,000 and 5,000-pound missiles, the likelihood of you taking someone's life when you're involved in a collision is likely.
That's what's so frustrating for officers like Sergeant McCullough. They say a majority of these deadly crashes they respond to don't need to happen.
It's the dead horse message. I mean, we continue to beat this every time we come out to these scenes. It's just really frustrating, the fact that a majority of collisions are preventable.
And with the holidays right around the corner, Sergeant McCullough says this is the time of year they're going to see even more crashes and even more families devastated by loss. But McCullough says he's hopeful maybe this time people will take his message to heart.
You know, how do you convey to 2.5 million people the importance of abiding by posted speed limits? Slow down, don't drink and drive. It's going to require the community to step up and do something about it.
And police told us they don't believe anyone was impaired in today's crash and nobody was arrested.